Well, Bruce, I'm thinking a hammer isn't good or bad unless you're trying to make it into a screwdriver. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I never learned the proper tool for a Phillips head screwdriver till I was like, I don't know, 10 years old. And then my dad was like, "Why are you using a flathead?" I don't know. You got to have the right tool. Welcome back to The Truth About Money with Bruce Weinstein. I'm Jackie Selby.
Well, I'll tell you
let's
what.
talk some
Let's talk
tools.
about one of the tools, okay?
All right.
How do annuities actually fit into retirement income plans? Well, at the core, annuities are designed, and I say this all the time, to provide income. So when you hear the word annuity, think of the word income, which means a monthly or annual installment payment for you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Guaranteed for the rest of your life. So if you want a payment guaranteed for the rest of your life, that's an annuity. Now, the question is that payment to you for the rest of your life more than investing your money and taking the risk of having a payment? So it's not an and or an or product. It's an and product. And you look at what the income would be. Every annuity contract has two sides to it. It has the investment side and it has the income side. And the investment side has a guarantee that you'll never lose money. The income side, the insurance company is going to charge you to guarantee that income. They're going to charge you like 1.1 to 1.2%. So you have to look at that as part of your cost.
Okay.
They pay the advisors, so you don't have to pay them anything. All you have to do is look at what the contract does. Why are there multiple companies selling multiple annuities? And the reason for that is because they all have different objectives. So,
All right. Okay.
you want an example?
Yeah, please.
All right,
Features.
all right.
They have different little features, right? That'll do.
Right. So always pretend that when you invest money, let's call it $100,000, divide it and put a line in the middle of the paper.
All right.
On one side you got 100,000, on the other side you got 100,000. So you have a $100,000 investment. Okay. On the left side, you can never lose anything. You can never make less than zero. Now, I have seen and sold annuity contracts that make nothing. And it's really interesting. And it's not good because obviously I don't want to sell a contract that makes nothing. I did it for the guarantee. There was a death benefit guarantee and there was an income guarantee, and they gave a bonus of 35%.
Well,
so
now,
I knew,
hey, now.
I knew that I'm good for 5 years, but I want to make more than that. I want to be able to at least continually make that kind of growth rate on my money if I can. And I know there's no guarantees, but so you have to be very careful of what contract you choose. And so, and how do they not, and you ask the questions that I ask the same questions. How do you not make any money on these investments when the market's up 14%? Well, on the investment side of the contract, the insurance company is looking at some sort of an indice, and they're not indices that we're accustomed to looking at, like the S&P 500. For the most part, there are some that do, some of those S&P 500s, but they don't share in the returns with you. So you have to be they only share in some of the returns. So they create their own indices, and they call them things like Morgan Stanley Global Dynamic,
okay,
or Goldman Sachs, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And so these different investments, they use a number as their factor. So for example, you look at the Morgan Stanley Global Dynamic Index, and it started at $100, and this year it's at $110. Well, you made 10%. That's great. Well, but that doesn't happen all the time. And so what they'll do, and who's controlling that? So I'm starting to get, very, very technical and very skeptical of these annuities, and really not utilizing them for the investment, but utilizing them for the income that's guaranteed. Yeah. Because no matter what you say, you can never tell a customer as an advisor that you're going to guarantee income unless it's part of an annuity contract. And
right.
so
you
therefore,
can't say that
you can't.
Otherwise.
You can't. So we're gonna be able to guarantee, like I just said, this gave them a 35% bonus, literally cash bonus. And the way they do it is if he dies, they pay that death benefit out over 5 years. So the insurance company wants to hold your money for a long period of time. That's how they make money. They pool it all together. They hold it. You got to just be very, very careful. And folks, it's not easy. It's not easy for you. It's not easy for us. Just like you don't trust anybody, we don't trust anybody. Not you, but the companies. We have to be very, very diligent in the companies that we choose for you. And they don't sell them to the public. They sell them through advisors. So they call it wholesaling, right? They wholesale products. So it's just, you just got to sit down and look at them. Is it make sense to own them? Maybe, right? Maybe. How much money do you have that's liquid? You know, do you want to tie all your money up for a period of 10 years? Because there's rules. You can get some of it, but you can't really touch it or move it for a period of 10 years other than
without a fine, right?
Without a fine, yeah, a penalty. Now, you can take some money out of there. Yeah. You can take some money out of there, but, you know, it's all good. You can get maybe 10% out or 7% out per year, but you got to be careful what you do. So don't listen to advisors that say, like, I know this advisor that basically is on the radio that sells $100 million a year of these. Did you hear about that guy? You know, he works for this organization.
He does? Okay.
Yeah, does $100 million. Yeah, he works with Coach Pete.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Honey.
Yeah. I don't know how he does it. I just can't see how everybody, I mean, unless there's a lot of people that want them, I'm not good at doing stuff like that. I'm good at what I'm good at doing, folks, is looking at the big picture and organizing your money so that it integrates and coordinates with each other. And if you're looking for somebody like that, I'm your guy.
Premier Southwest Planning Group, LLC is a registered investment advisor. The content of this advertisement is intended for informational purposes only and is not intended to be investment advice. The views expressed in this program are subject to change based on market and other conditions.